What if a single set of vintage beach photos could suddenly pull one of cinema's greatest legends back into today's most heated online debates? That's exactly what happened when rare images of Sophia Loren in her younger years resurfaced online, showing her in a bikini during the height of her early fame. Within hours, admiration turned into controversy, and a simple nostalgic glimpse of Hollywood's golden era became a global talking point. But the real shock isn't the photos themselves, it's what people think they represent today. Before jumping to conclusions, you need to understand something important. Sophia Loren was never just a film star. She was a cultural force, a symbol of European elegance who challenged rigid beauty standards long before the internet had anything to say about it. So when these images resurfaced decades later, they didn't just show a young actress on a beach. They reopened a conversation about beauty, freedom, and how quickly society forgets the context of its own history. At the time those photos were taken, Loren was rising in an industry that constantly tried to define her. She was told to soften her image, to fit into narrow expectations, yet she carried herself with a confidence that felt almost defiant. And now, years later, that same confidence is being judged through a completely different lens, one shaped by social media reactions, instant opinions, and a culture that often confuses nostalgia with controversy. As the images spread, reactions split sharply. Some viewers saw timeless elegance, a young woman embracing her life with confidence and authenticity. Others, however, labeled the photos as too bold, even by today's standards, as if confidence itself had an expiration date. But here's where the deeper tension begins. Why does the same image inspire admiration in one era and outrage in another? What changes more, the photo or the people looking at it? The emotional conflict here is not really about Sophia Loren. It's about memory versus modern perception. In her prime, she represented a kind of cinematic freedom that was rare and unapologetic. Yet today, those same qualities are filtered through modern sensitivity, judgment, and viral commentary that often strips away historical context. And still, there's a powerful moment hidden beneath the noise. Because when you look closely, what these photos truly capture is not controversy, but confidence untouched by time. A young woman standing in her own identity without anticipating how the world might reinterpret her decades later. Isn't it strange how something once considered natural can later be debated so intensely? As the conversation grows louder, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Legends like Sophia Loren don't change. The world around them does. The standards shift, the opinions evolve, and suddenly, history starts getting rewritten by reaction rather than reality. The emotional peak of this story isn't outrage. It's recognition. Recognition that we often judge the past using rules that didn't exist at the time. And in doing so, we risk losing the essence of what made those moments meaningful in the first place. The lesson here is surprisingly simple, yet deeply human. Confidence should never be confused with controversy just because it belongs to another era. And beauty, in its most honest form, was never meant to age according to public approval. In the end, these resurfaced photos don't tell us something new about Sophia Loren. They tell us something about ourselves, how quickly we react, how easily we forget context, and how often we confuse history with headlines. And maybe the real question isn't whether the images were too bold, but whether we've become too quick to judge the timeless moments we no longer fully understand.